So, do you have to be a Highlander to ride the loops at Highland Recreation? No, but you better have the strength of one. You found MTB Trailview. This video is for people who love the adventure of riding new trails and for new riders to the sport to get a taste of the trails that are out there to ride. You've never been there before and want to see what the trail's like before you make the commitment to a long drive and not get what you expect? Trailview is for you. Trailview will take you on trails, start to finish, show you how to find the trailheads, and call out some key features along the way from an intermediate rider's perspective. So, let's get at today's ride. So here's a Google Maps snapshot of this location. You should be able to get the address or GPS coordinates from it. Welcome to Highland Recreation. In my opinion, if you're looking for a challenge and wanted to bump and grind your way around this rocky, rooty, switchbacky, jumpy, uphill, downhill, off-cambered, grooved-up trail, Highland Rec is the place for you. But you better put on your big boy pants and get ready for a battle because this trail ain't playing around and it's gonna fight back. Welcome to Highland, where the timid need not try. Let's go. Okay, so the Highlander example might be a little bit over the top, but I'm not kidding when I say that you better bring a little strength in your A game when you decide to ride the Highland trails. It's not an easy place to ride, but that's what makes it so great. Well, you can see by the parking lot that Highland Recreation is a very popular place to ride. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here, parking lot's full. Some of these people are hikers, but most of them are mountain bikes. The way to get to the trail is you come out of the parking lot, you cross the road, the gravel road, and you go in by the stop sign. You go up this trail a little bit, and you're just gonna keep to your left. There's a sign here that will tell you the loops, where the loops are. You can see that. Today we're going to tackle the A and B loop. So here we go. This is the beginning of it, and it starts off right out of the gate with some roots, a downhill, and you're gonna find out right from the get-go what Highland's all about. Many trails in Michigan are smooth, hard pack. It's kind of like riding down the concrete. Highland is exactly not that. It is a single track. Here's rocks right here. It's a single track. It is hard pack. It's a great ride. I'm just discouraging novices, beginners. So here we are, A, we're gonna split to your left. I'm just discouraging novices and beginners from coming out and hopping on this trail because it's not gonna be what you think it is, or maybe it is what you think it is. Hey, listen, I never wanna discourage anybody from anything. If you're a novice and you wanna give it a try, you can always get off and push. But there's a lot of obstacles in here, rocks, roots, hills, ups and downs, and you kind of need to put on your big boy pants and bring your A game when you ride this trail. So here we go. Now I know that the cameras are two-dimensional, so you can't really see what's ups and downs. I'll kind of call it as I go along, where this is an uphill right here. So what this video is we're gonna ride the A and B loop from start to finish. If I have enough time, I'll get into the C loop. If not, I will cover it in another video. Today is opening day of the Detroit Lions, and I don't want to miss the game. So we might just get 2 loops done today, being honest with you. So there are parts of this trail that are smooth and easy, and this is it. This is downhill here. But you're gonna notice, you know, you come into some of the corners too fast. And you're too fast, there's trees directly on the outside of the curve. I'm not gonna try and dumb this down too much because I know the audience I'm talking to, and it's not beginners if you're doing this trail. So today I'm riding my Specialized Turbo Levo e-bike. That's right, e-bike. And I'll make no qualms about it. I love it. It's changed my life for riding. I'm 58 years old. Got a knee replacement, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how old you are. And it doesn't even matter whether you have something wrong with you. Let's just say what it is. These things are fun. If you don't have a lot of time, you have an office job, you spend most of your day sitting, you might not be in good enough shape to come tackle a place like Highland. I know that's happened to me before. Now I can do it. I appreciate that. So, rah-rah for the e-bikes, or I should say e-assisted bikes. All right, here's a downhill drop off here, rocks. So there you go. If anybody wants to have an e-bike discussion with me, I'll be happy to have it. I appreciate all the people who have written me privately and talked about e-bikes and how they wish that they could get one, and how in many states the trails aren't open to them yet, but they will be. Everything follows the path of money. And you know, I've been out here riding all year long, and I haven't seen any trail damage. Haven't been hearing any reports of people getting hurt. All the things that the naysayers were kind of saying about e-bikes is not coming to fruition. So, now that's not to say that we should open up the trails to the full-on electric motorcycles. That's a whole nother thing. We're talking about pedal assist here. So anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to touch on that right out of the gate. Then we'll get back into the trail. So we're on a little ridge here, winding around. This trail is, like I say, hard packed, but there's areas of it at the bottom of hills that collect sand when it rains. In the fall here, it can be a little slippery because of the leaves, but that's with any place in the woods. But it always holds up nice. There's trail splits. Some places are, you know, the splits go around the harder things. It's just a simple log crossing. And into a downhill. Now, sorry, when I speak about downhills and uphills, a lot of times they're just little inclines. And again, I'm just calling that out because you can't see it on the camera. Otherwise, everything just looks flat, which it's not at Highland. Uphill, rooty section. A little switchback there with a root in the middle. I have a challenge for myself when I ride Highland, and I haven't done it yet. And that's to complete all the loops without ever putting my feet on the ground. Closest I've come is twice, and I'll point out those areas when we get there. But it's always nice to have a little goal for yourself. Rocks, roots right there. Keep straight on that trail crossing. Tight through the trees. So everything about this trail is intermediate level and above. I have more novice bike rider friends than I do experienced riders, and often they ask, you know, can I come to Highland with you? Is that a smart choice? And I discourage them, but I also tell them, you can do whatever you want, but you might be pushing and complaining at the end of the day about your physical shape. Rocks right there. That's the thing about this trail. Often I say there's nothing that will, no trail trolls that'll pop up and get you. Here's some uphill rocks, roots. On most trails it's that way. There's not, you know, there's no things that are gonna pop up and get you. This trail, not so much. You can be going along and then there's a corner and boom, there's a giant rock in the middle. Always have to be careful and watch out for fallen trees. This is downhill roots. So this trail, rocks, there's one that kind of comes out of nowhere. So it's a good idea, especially if it's your first time here, not to run this thing full out. Just enjoy your ride. Heck, even if it's your second or third time, the trail's so long, you kind of end up forgetting where things are unless you ride it all the time. So I was saying, this trail reminds me a lot of, there's a trail that I did on my series, MTB Trailview, routes on a corner right there. And it's behind Lake Orion High School on Bald Mountain South. That trail I love as well. It's kind of the ultimate two-track. It doesn't see much use, so it's really like hardcore, you know, roughing it type mountain biking as far as the skinniness of the trail and whatnot. This trail's a lot like that, but with way more hills and way more rocks. But this trail sees a lot of use. So the one good thing about it is if you get in trouble out here, it won't be long before somebody comes along and is able to lend a hand. Roots on an uphill here. Okay, here's a little resting spot here. But we'll keep going through that. Downhill, winding downhill. And I have to say that this trail is shared by hikers as well as mountain bikers. Here's one. Hi, how you doing today? You too, be safe out here. Oh, big stone. I have to mention too, I hear from a lot of hikers complain about the speed that mountain bikers go by. And I just urge everybody, we all share the trail. It's equally as important to both the hikers as it is mountain bikers. Excuse me. And so whenever I go by, I try and be as nice and polite as I can. I urge you to do the same. You're only passing them for 5 seconds. Don't mean to be preachy. Just hate it when people get down on our sport. There's no need for it. Anyway, nice little rock right there. You can jump that, but I slowed it down just so you could see. Another rock. Drop off into roots. More rocks. Such a pretty stand of woods through here too. All right, downhill, choppy through the roots on the way down. Rocks here. Corners with roots, more rocks. Roots uphill. Really steep uphill right here. It's one of those, you don't know it's coming. All of a sudden it's there, you're going straight up. Well, not straight up, but pretty steep. All that is an uphill, rooty section. Rocks, kind of just like a little rock garden there that somebody built. Step down off a root into an uphill. So Highland Rec is a perfect example, roots here, of why I do this channel. Are you from Western Michigan? Are you from Ohio? You're kind of risking getting in the car and driving a few hours, which drops off, you know, and then you get here and all you've really seen is videos of a couple sections. You don't really know whether it's worth it to come all the way for this trail or another. Let me tell you what, Highland is worth the drive. It's worth at least a 4-hour drive, I think, at least that. Especially if you're from someplace that's super flat, like parts of Ohio, Western Michigan, stuff like, and you don't have, you know, lots of options for mountain bike trails. This one's totally worth it. DTE, sure everybody's heard of that. I haven't done a video there yet because so many videos have been done there. I'll get there eventually, but there's so many, I don't feel like there's a great need. Okay, I'll finish that in a minute. So we just came from the A loop. We're getting ready to go on the B. And you're gonna come to this marker so you know exactly where you are. And if you take a right, you can go back to the parking lot if that's enough for you. Maybe you thought you could handle it and you can't, or maybe you broke, whatever. Right back there, we'll take you to the parking lot. It's still a little bit of a ride. Actually, we haven't done 3.8 miles yet. To here, it's probably about a little over 2. If you want more of a ride, B-Loop. B-Loop starts right off with an uphill, and let's do that next. So right from the intersection, it's into an uphill. Hard to see on camera. It's not super steep uphill, but it is an uphill filled with roots. Probably a good 100 yards or so to the top of it. Rock root, rocks and roots, root on the corner. So fun and challenging. Still on an uphill. And now we're to the top, and then get a little payoff. Downhill. Roots into a corner. All this is still downhill. Roots and rocks. So B is a little bit more technical than A is, although A certainly has its technical features. So what I was saying about, is it worth the trip? Highland is absolutely worth the trip. I have a friend, John Pellin. He races e-bikes in Ohio. He's about 5 hours from Michigan. He's always calling me and asking me, is this trail worth it? Is that trail worth it? And a lot of times I'll say yes, but a lot of times I'll say no too. And that's the whole reason for these videos. You can watch them start to finish. Kind of don't exactly expect everybody to watch them start to finish, but it is here as a resource. And I'm surprised how many people do, judging by the emails that I get back. I really appreciate you, which also makes me want to say, if you're watching and you made it this far, even if you haven't, please like and subscribe. If you dig this, it really helps me understand what it is that you guys want. I know that there's a million videos out there of people jumping and doing rad things, and you know, but there's so many of them. And as I was going through, as I was getting started, there wasn't hardly anything that showed the whole trail. You know, even the people who do extended videos are skipping massive parts of the trail. My promise to you is start to finish, unless all the batteries die on my GoPro. So anyway, all this is downhill right here with rocky and roots. I've only been doing this channel since July, middle of July. So just a little over a month. I appreciate the 100 subscribers that I have, and what is it, almost 500 hours of watch time on the channel so far. It's kind of unheard of, and I really appreciate that. So it keeps me going with this. It was just an experiment in the beginning. My beginning videos aren't that great. I didn't put as much effort into it because I didn't know whether people would like it or not. But here we are, a month and a half later, and now you'll notice there's 3 cameras on the bike. People really seem to enjoy it when I talk and narrate during the rides like this. If you don't like it, just turn off the volume and watch the video. I've gotten emails from people that say at work they just put these videos on their second monitor and use it as wallpaper. Makes them feel better throughout the day when they're in their cubicles. So I appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for watching. All right, back into the trail. Hi, how are you today?
Great, how are you?
Pretty good. Beautiful day. Go Lions. Log crossing. Switch back into a downhill. Hey, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Can't complain, beautiful day. So that's a little uphill, rocks, roots, into a downhill. More rocks or more roots. So much of this trail is just roots and up and down. I guess if I think about it, if somebody were to ask me to describe this trail in 4 words: roots, rocks, ups, downs. Excuse me. Down. Roots, down, I'd also say this is the closest you're gonna get. Not the closest. There's other trails, but I'll say this. If you want to feel like you're on an Upper Peninsula type trail, this is it. Highland's got that going on. It's not near as rocky as an Upper Peninsula trail, but that's what the Upper Peninsula is known for, is the rocks. Sharp rocks too that can pop your tires. When you're up there, there's a need. You should probably have inserts in your rims. Really good hard ply tire and run low tire pressures. Here, it's still a hard packed trail. So, up, route. So you can get along away, you know, with just regular, hang on, uphill rocks. Ah, shit. Well, there goes my goal. Oh, foot down. All right, there's one. That wasn't even my fault. That sucks. The heel of my shoe got stuck under the swing arm. I still got to count it. Anyway. So I'm just going to ride it for a little bit here until I have something to say. I'm just running my mouth the whole time. We'll say there's so many places here as you're going uphill and doing a switchback. There's a route right in the middle. You can almost count on it. Downhill. Down. Flat. Up. So you might be wondering, I'm looking down at my calculator here, how fast can you travel these trails? My average speed so far with the ups and downs is about 12 miles an hour. It's the average. Obviously uphills are, I'm not gonna say that, it's just stupid. Everybody knows what an average is. Excuse me. Log crossing. Okay, came to a trail split here. It's a cutoff on B. Means we're about halfway through the B loop. You can either take the B trail back to the parking lot if you head to the right, or you can continue to the left, and that'll take you out to the C trail. So we're gonna continue to the C on the B blue trail. Here we go. I'm gonna get back into the e-bike discussion a little bit, because Highland seems like an appropriate place to have that conversation, because, you know, if you love to ride trails and you're stuck in an office and you sit there, I don't know how many days there were, drop down, oh, this is downhill. I don't know how many times there were, oh, this is downhill, chattery all the way down, roots into a corner, more downhill, drop off, roots, corner, nice challenging area and fun. Continuing on the downhill and then transitioning to up. So as I was starting to say, I don't know how many days rocks through here there were when I would be done with work and I'd think about coming to Highland, and I'm just like, my God, I've been sitting all day. I haven't been on the bike in a week. I don't know if I can handle that trail today. I don't know if I want to deal with it. And then I would just skip it. E-bike? Nope. I still pedal the majority. I pedal about half of it with no power at all. The uphills, you know, there's different rates of power that you can use, but none of it is to the point where you spin tires and wreck trails. The whole thing about e-bikes wrecking the trails, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it, it's a myth. It doesn't exist. Not on e-assist bikes, but anyway, it's a trail like Highland. It doesn't matter if I haven't had the opportunity to ride in a week. I can just come out and still do it. And, you know, I had a conversation with a couple guys in the parking lot before I came out today. Those guys had the same bike I did, Specialized Turbo Levo. And they love it. They're a little bit older, but the one guy said, hey, I'm not using that as an excuse. He says, I look at YouTube posts and Facebook posts and people say, oh, I ride an e-bike because I have this affliction or I have that affliction, or, you know, even me, I had a total knee replacement. Use that as an excuse in the beginning, but you know, you don't need to have an excuse to have an e-bike. They're just fun. It just makes the ride, you know, better. And you know, more and more people are going to them. And if you want to be hardcore, you don't want to, you know, use an e-bike, don't. I don't think e-bike people are passing those kind of riders. I have so much respect for those guys. Single speed, no suspension, hauling through this stuff. You guys are men of men and women of women, but you know, for 90% of the riders, the whole idea is to have fun. And if you go out, you can only ride once every 2 weeks. Excuse me. Woohoo! There you go. Got it on camera. Been a long time coming. I haven't had a wreck on camera for a while, but here's where it happened. 5.5 miles in on the B loop. Come around this corner. I caught that rock and then hit this root. I mean, it's a pretty good size one, and didn't have enough speed, didn't pull up on the handlebars, was too busy talking about something else and not paying attention, and ended up in the ground. But that's the thing about Highland, right? There's always something here. All right, so back at it. It's a good little section there. You better be careful at the 5.5 marker. Downhill roots, rocks, here's a little drop down, rock, corner. Well, as I say, back on the horse that threw you. That wasn't a big deal anyway, though. It's all in slow motion. Kind of fun. Can't wait to look back at it. All right, switch back at the bench. This is a really neat little section here. It goes along a marshy area. Kind of a bench cut thing going on here. Chance to get a little speed. Well, so much for my goal of, feet down during the whole ride. Not even halfway through, down twice. Like I say, the best I've ever done is twice. Kind of a little high-speed area through here. Running about 25 miles an hour there, 22, 23, sorry. Looks like they had a pretty sizable tree come down. A lot of work in there. I really appreciate the trail workers for their commitment to keeping the trails nice and groomed and cleaned. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Steep uphill. Still continuing uphill here. Still uphill. And transitioning down. Just thinking about some of the size of some of the trees that are down in here. We're pretty far back from the parking lot now. Easily miles. And to think of the size of the chainsaws that they have to bring back here to cut and clear some of these trees that come down during Michigan storms. That can't be easy. Thank you. We appreciate you. Root garden in an uphill corner. Still continued uphill. Still uphill. Roots. And transitioning into flat. Downhill. All right, downhill. Roots, drop-offs, pretty steep there. I mean, if you notice here, but it could be because there's a road in at the end of B, between B and C. All this part of the trail, all super groomed, well, weed whacked and everything. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so we just came up the B trail here. If you go left, that takes you to the C loop. The C loop is about 2.4 miles long. It's very technical, tight and rocky. There's all kinds of sharp dips, vertical elevation of 370 feet. It's a great trail to do. I've done it many times, but I'm not going to do it this ride. Today is the opening day. I'm just being honest. Today is opening day of Detroit Lions. They're playing the Packers, also a team of mine. Couldn't be a better game. So I'm going to cut it short here. Not short, but I'm just going to continue on the B loop and back to the parking lot. You run the A and B loop together. It says it's about 10 miles. I'll take that. That's a good day's ride. And I'll do the C and D loop in another video. I'll catch it in a few days. So please continue to ride with me on the B loop. You never know what can happen. I mean, you saw it just a minute ago. And as I got off my bike, I guess I need a new seat. Okay, so continuing on the B loop with my crooked seat. Thought something felt funny. Well, at least it's the seat and not my ass. bumps and rocks and corners. So, I was mentioning it's football season and the leaves are just getting ready to start turning. Won't be long before the winter hits here in Michigan. It'll be fat bike season, and a little bit harder to cover the trails with as much frequency. So what are my plans in the winter for this channel? Well, I got big plans. I want to branch out of Michigan. I want this to become nationwide. I want it to help riders all over the country, not just in Michigan. I've kind of hooked up with some contributors from around the country who are going to be sending in some videos from other states that are like this. And also, I'm going to be doing some, this is all downhill, pretty steep, rocky drop-offs. Had to hit that kind of slow. Anyway, I'm going to be doing some call-ins to people who have videos in different states, talk to them about their trails, just do it remotely, and then use their videos as much as I can to get a feel for their trails. I don't know if they have 100% start to finish, but at least we can start to build a library. So if you want to get out of Michigan, you're going to Colorado, let's say, or Georgia, or the Appalachian Mountains, we'll have some suggestions for you, places to go. Routes there. So that's what's coming on the channel. But until then, I'm going to try and wedge in as many Michigan trails as we possibly can, because they're simply close to home. Southeast Michigan has just a plethora of trails. I live in the Clarkston area, so just from there you got Pontiac and Highland and Stony and Holly and Bloomer, Bald Mountain North, Bald Mountain South, Tree Farm, all the ones I've pretty much covered, and lots more to come. Still at least another month or two before there's snow on the ground. I head over to the west side of the state where the snow drops. If there's any suggestions of trails that you'd like to see that I haven't already covered, let me know. Just drop me a line, my email. It's right there down below. Goggin, Goggin, Byron, Byron @gmail.com, or hit me up in the comments section down below. The route's on an uphill. Okay, this part right here, I've never made it past here without putting my foot down. So this area is my nemesis. This is the one place I can't get through without putting my feet down. I've never stopped and walked it ahead of time, but let's change the perspective here a little bit from the bottom. Here's what you're looking at as you come up. You can go here or there. Let's widen this out. And you got to get through here, but they're pretty skinny. They're as tall as your cranks. But I think now that I've stopped, I might see the way through this. Never bothered to stop before. So here's what I'm thinking. You're coming here, natural reaction would be to go around this rock there or there and then in. But I feel like if you just kept going through there, you might make it. Let's give it a try. Nothing worth doing is worth doing unless you do it right. So let's give this a try. Walked it through, see what my theory is. Up here. Oh! One more time. I had that. See how my theory works. Let's just pick a different line. You keep doing the same thing, you can't expect different. Okay, let's try it again. Take the inside here. Yes! Nice! All right. Personal accomplishment. Encourage you guys to do that too. If there's a section having problems with, you never make it, go analyze it and give it a few tries. Nothing like the feeling of accomplishment. That was nice, I tell you. Been through there I don't know how many times and haven't made it. That's awesome. Nice. Accomplishment. All right, back to the trails. There's nothing like that feeling. Corners into rocks and roots, switchbacks. Uphill, roots. Well, that's what I'm going to title this video. 4 words. Rocks, roots, up, down. Highland Trail. Yep.
Switch back into a downhill, sandy corner. Roots in a corner. Downhill, choppy, loose, sandy at the bottom. Transition into an uphill with roots. Okay, here we are. This is the split for the D loop. So off to the left, that's going to head you to the D loop. The D loop is about 4 miles of very technical, tight turns, big rocks, steep hills, vertical elevation up and down of about 4,300 feet. It's a great ride. We're going to bypass that today. I'm going to put that in another video. We're going to put C and D together. It's for another day. So for now, we're going to keep on heading out. We're joining up with the A loop here. The A loop. It's going to take us back to the parking lot. So there's plenty of trail to ride here. I mean, you can come here and ride for hours. If you do all 4 loops, you know, it's going to take you a couple hours to do for sure. Of course, depending on your riding level. But it's easy to spend a half day here at Highland. You don't want to do the whole thing. The nice thing about this trail is it does have the loops and it can kick you out, and you can, you know, depending on how tired you are, or if you've broken or bent something, or your bike's not working, or you got a call from home, or you got a football game to go to, you can kind of gauge your time by the loops. I wouldn't say any of the loop exits are extremely close to the parking lot. This AD one I just passed is probably the closest, but we still got another at least a mile to go before we get to the parking lot. But I don't know, everything about this trail is just great. It's fun. I love the technical part of it. I think that's why it's so popular. I mean, so many riders here are at a really advanced skill level because of this type of terrain. All right, downhill, rocks, and a rock garden there to the left, and a hiker. Hi, how you doing today? Hey, Michigan win last night? They lost? Bummer. Uphill rock garden into roots and corner. Still uphill with roots. Bummer Michigan lost last night. Hope that doesn't happen to the Lions. It was a weird line I just took, but made it. So as we're getting close to the end, I'd just like to sum the trail up. And it's pretty obvious by now. Highland is definitely not a trail for a beginning or novice rider. Intermediate, you just need to be careful out here. Whether you're intermediate or advanced, you still need to be careful. Hi, how you doing? But it's technical the whole way. There's 4 exits, so you can plan the length of your trip accordingly. It's worth the drive. If you're coming from far away, it's definitely worth the drive. That's an uphill corner in roots. There's another root section up here. Oh, you gotta pop up over. It's hard pack. Roots, rocks, up, down is the name of the game. I've said it 100 times, but that's what this trail is. I'd like to again to thank you for watching if you've made it this far. Like I say, this is just a trail guide. Ooh, nice and skinny. Oh, caught it a little bit. That's super tight. I'd like to thank you for watching Trailview. I hope that it is a good guide for you. Like I say, I don't expect people to watch the entire thing, but it's here for you as a guide. If you'd like it, I try and chapter it up for you so you can go to different places. It's easy to find. I'd appreciate it if you find it handy or helpful, and let me know what you'd like to see more of or less of. And please, positive comments only. I don't need a bunch of trolls. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm doing it for the community. Try and build the mountain bike community and just build the sport into something that's easily accessible and more people can enjoy. I love the feeling of like when I go to Copper Harbor and everybody is there for one reason, and it's just awesome. People are friendly, all kinds of different bikes to look at and people to talk to from different areas, and I hope that we can get a little of that feel on our trails wherever we are. It doesn't have to be a special place. It's all downhill, choppy roots, rocks here, and so that's my goal. So if you like this, please like and subscribe and do all the things that I just told you. And with that, we are just about to come out to the parking lot. This section here is where we came in. It's a 2-way to get in and out, so be careful as you exit. And uphill also to exit. How you doing?
Better now.
It's quite a hike. And that's gonna do it.
We here at Trailview are trying to add new videos each week. Right now, Trailview is Michigan-based, but we're also looking for trail views anywhere in the country. So if you like what you're seeing and would like to be a contributor wherever you ride, drop me an email and let's get connected. The whole idea is to share trails with others, build the mountain bike community, and learn about great places to ride. So let's build something cool together.